tale of Birdsville. Urbanization has altered the way of living. Even the animals have started adapting to the evolving environment and social transformation. Interestingly, the birds' lives have changed in Birdsville too. So many new opportunities flared up. More jobs showed up, and most of all, their lives have become almost similar to ours. Tina, a house sparrow, owned a real estate company, Nest for All. It was yet another typical day in Birdsville. Tina was in her nest, reviewing a nesting plan for one of her clients, working on a treetop, eating her birdseed cornflakes. Getting a client's call, she quickly gets ready for work. While flying to her office, memories flooded of how her parents were not convinced of her becoming a real estate agent. But Tina, visualizing good opportunities, persuaded them. She had built an empire now. Every bird who wanted a nest came to her. The words had spread to migrating birds too. Her parents were proud of her and regretted not supporting her back then. Reaching the office, her assistant Jenny, a purple sunbird, came in and said, "Ma'am, the Campsons are here, the red-vented bulbuls. Should I let them into your office for a meeting?" Tina nodded. Jenny scampered to the waiting room and brought them into the office. Mrs. Campson saw the office covered in green moss. The walls had Tina achievements framed and nicely polished. Two pieces of bark from a willow tree were the doors, and the table was made of balsam fir. It was a sight to behold. Mrs. Campson was impressed. "Please sit," Tina said. "Good morning," Mrs. Campson stated. "I am Lily, and he's my husband, Keto. We recently came to Canyon Park and heard that you were the best bird in real estate. I want to know your ideas before we discuss them." Tina said, "We have built a variety of nests and made them as close as possible to the nest one would make on their own, like old days with available materials." She handed them a brochure. Lily takes the brochure and flips through the pages. While looking at the designs, her eyes gleam. Seeing this, Tina shows them another picture and says, "We have built a nest for coots." They had a special requirement that the nest float on water with possible amenities. You wouldn't believe it when coots saw a design. They were ecstatic. And now there are premium customers. Tina flips to a picture and says, "We have built nests for bioweavers." Their requirement was several rooms with two entrances to the nest to accommodate hot and cold temperatures during the day. We customize it as per their specifications. Jenny adds, "We have built several office nests, also one that can camouflage for maximum security." The iconic Infocorp office nest complex was designed and built by us. Campsons were quite impressed by the estate agent's profile. Lily persuades Cato to sign the contract, and they finally do so. Tina signals Jenny to take control and leaves the room. Jenny moves out of the office to get Homid, a Caledonian crow, the design engineer. She gets him and introduces, "He is Homid, your designer. Please tell him your specifications." Lily gives all the details and Homid takes note of it. He confirms the design and ensures that all specifications will be sent to their birded ID in 2 days. While leaving, Kato says, "We have 2 chicks and are worried about their safety." Homid replies, "It is a very safe space as Tina ma'am has an agreement with predator birds and they would not attack." Homid sends the nest plans to Campson's birded ID. It gets approved. Next comes the decision on the construction site. Lily wanted a densely populated location so that they could easily socialize. Tina called Clara Clark's Nutcracker as she had comprehensive knowledge of the area. On Lily's specifications, Clara suggests the banyan tree complex. The complex was ideal as it had 2 trees with above 200 nests built. The design work for the new nest took 3 days to finish. Campsons were delighted to see the new nest and lauded the team's efforts. Nest for All company celebrated this success. They stayed late night dancing and singing, and the birds slept in the office. The following day, Jenny flew in with the birds daily. Tina was sleeping on her desk. Mom, look at this, she said, handing the newspaper to Tina. Tree cut down in Cannon Park, 15 birds lose nest was the headline. Tina was shocked and shaken. Numerous thoughts pounded. She immediately called for an emergency meeting. Her entire team, including Jenny, Clara, Homer, Jacob, Kelly, and Amy, rushed in. As we all have seen from the Birds Daily, Tina stated, a tree has been cut down. Her hard work and company reputation will turn into dust. We should stop humans immediately. Hearing this, Kelly takes charge and starts assigning initial tasks. Jacob, go to the area to analyze and report back to me. Jacob flew to the site and found tents were set up. Heavy equipment trucks and a construction crew were on the site. He saw a banner and understood that a big mall would be constructed. He flew back to tell the news. Kelly understood how serious the issue was, and they quickly came up with the plan. Tina was worried that her years of hard work were going to crumble. Kelly shared her plan to Tina. Only way to stop this is to get the environmental activists' attention. But first, we should send pigeons in the 10s and the 20s near people's houses around the park and create disturbances. Then eagles and bats sit near the park and scare the people coming near it. Plan executed. All the birds came together and started creating havoc on the people near the park. The people were vexed and could not understand how the calm and serene area, filled up with the sweet chirping of the birds, turned out to be a nightmare to live in. The area soon buzzed in the news headlines, which grabbed the attention of several environmental activists. They started protesting near the park. The residents also joined in. Kelly and the rest of the team watched this and were happy that their plan worked. Next, Tina calls all the birds and says, "We are about 100 now, and more will be joining from other parks too." She instructs the birds to occupy all the trees. Cannon Park was filled with annoying chirpings and the sky was covered with hovering birds. The sudden strange happening came to the notice of all people walking, driving, and residing around. News reporters broadcasted this occurrence at how the birds are fighting for their homes. People started tweeting pictures from the park. This became worldwide news. Finally, the government stepped in and ordered the company to immediately stop the mall's construction and find another suitable place that would not destroy so many trees and nests. Tina's team was delighted as the park was restored to the birds. Next day, Tina was on a treetop eating her birdseed cornflakes.